Hey y'all. On this week's episode of Miss Edna Mae's Southern Eats and Treats, I'm going to share an original recipe with you, Parmesan salmon. We're going to start with making our marinara sauce. Start by dicing 3 to 4 small garlic cloves and a half a cup of onion. Once done, you want to add them to a medium-high heat pan drizzled with olive oil. Once your garlic and onion are in the pan, go ahead and stir to get them nice and coated in the olive oil. Once the garlic and onion are nice and coated, go ahead and put a lid on the pot and let cook for about 10 minutes. You want to make sure that you're stirring frequently between time, and once they're nice and translucent, you want to add in a can of crushed tomatoes. I used a 14.5 ounce can, and that's going to be plenty for what we're going to need today. And you can just freeze the rest. Now go ahead and stir to mix in well with the garlic and the onion. Now you want to add in fresh basil leaves. The fresh basil leaves really takes the taste and the flavor up another whole level. Let's go ahead and stir this and blend in with the other ingredients. And I promise you, this is going to be better than any jar that you can buy out of the store. Okay, so we got everything mixed together really good. At this point, you want to add in your salt and pepper and then cover and let simmer for about 10 minutes. Now you want to make sure that you stir your sauce frequently until it's thickened. Okay, it's been 10 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and take out these basil leaves because the flavor has been released into the sauce. Okay, now go ahead and turn your heat off and set sauce to the side. Now, ingredients for our salmon. A cup of breadcrumbs. I'm making my own from fresh sourdough, but you can use store-bought. Next, we're going to grate fresh Parmesan cheese. 1 cup is what you're going to need for this recipe. Once you have your 1 cup of Parmesan, you're going to do a half a cup of grated mozzarella. Once you finish grating, set to the side. Okay, now you take 2 eggs, add a tablespoon of water, whisk until your yolks are completely broken down. Okay, now we've got the eggs done. Let's get our breadcrumbs. You want to add half of the amount of the Parmesan cheese. Once you have your Parmesan cheese added to your breadcrumbs, you want to go ahead and mix the two together real good. Okay, this looks good. Now I'm going to grab my Miss Edna Mae's premium salmon seasoning, available at missednamae.com, and season the salmon. Salmon all seasoned. Now let's make a dredging station. You're going to have a cup of flour in 1 container. You have your beaten eggs and your breadcrumbs. And what you want to do first is take a piece of your salmon, coat it in the flour, shaking off the excess, then dip it into your eggs, again, shaking off the excess. And next, you want to completely coat it in the Parmesan cheese breadcrumb mix. Make sure you get it good and coated because this is what's really going to add that delicious, crunchy texture to it. Now with the breadcrumb and cheese mix, you don't want to shake any of this off. You really want to get it packed on there as much as you can. Okay, that looks good. You want to go ahead and repeat with the other pieces of your salmon. All right, now we have our oil ready on a medium-high heat, and we can go ahead and add in our salmon. Now, medium-high heat should be at about 350 degrees. Now, we're just going to cook each piece until it's nice and golden. We're not trying to cook it all the way through. So, as you can see, this is nice and golden brown. You want to flip it to the side. And we're going to do this for each piece on each side. You see how nice and golden brown the breadcrumbs and the Parmesan cheese is cooking? Oh, and I did want to mention, now I left the skin on my salmon. You can take the skin off or buy skinless, but I do like cooking with the skin. Okay, y'all, we got this gorgeous looking salmon ready to come out of the oil. We're going to place them on a rack so they can drain. If you don't have a rack, then paper towel is fine. Okay, now it's time to take our delicious homemade marinara sauce and coat each piece of salmon with a nice, generous amount. But we don't want to do too much. You don't want to drown the salmon with the sauce. So go ahead and do each piece. And also at this point, go ahead and turn on your oven so it can get heated to 400 degrees. And just take a minute and notice how the thickness of this marinara sauce is. It's not sliding all off your pieces of salmon. It's just staying right there, nice and perfect. That's what we want. Okay, we got our marinara on, so let's add on our cheese. You want to start by adding your Parmesan cheese. You don't want to overdo it. Just add enough to where you'll be able to get a nice cheesy amount with every bite. Now you want to add on your mozzarella and the same thing. Just get a nice amount. Okay, perfect. We got our cheese on each piece of salmon. Now let's get it into the oven. Okay, it's been about 8 minutes. We'll go ahead and I got my salmon out. And again, if your salmon is thinner, then you will not need to leave it in as long. So make sure you go by the thickness of your salmon. Now I can tell that these are done all the way through. We got the cheese nice and melted, and voila, here we are, our Parmesan salmon. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. Ooh, look how that cheese is just cheesing. Oh, wow. The crust looks perfect. The meat texture is perfect. And believe me, when I tell you, it tastes delicious. All of the flavors, the herbs and spices, the homemade marinara, the Parmesan and mozzarella cheese, everything is perfect. Okay, your turn. Oh, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share.